Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. I'm Nat.
And I'm Tom.
And in today's video we're going to be talking about the different restaurants that we ate at in our Walt Disney World trip in October. So we've written the restaurants down on little bits of paper and we've put them inside of our coaster box. And we're going to pull the names out one by one and talk about.
Yep. I'll go first. So the first one is Garden Grill. Now this is a family style breakfast in the land pavilion in Epcot. Basically it's a big room that rotates around the attraction itself. It's really cool. In it you'll get to meet Chip, Dale, Mickey and Pluto. The food itself,
it's breakfast food, so you get a big skillet that's got bacon, sausage, eggs, waffles, tater tots, and then you also get like a separate bowl with fruit, and also you get the big sticky
chips, hot sticky bun bake,
yeah,
which is the best part of it.
Which is basically like a big cinnamon roll that's covered in icing. Yeah. And what family style means, if you've not been to one before, is that basically the food comes to you, and then if you want any more of it, they just keep bringing you what you want more of. So if you wanted more sausage, they bring you more sausage, so on and so on. We didn't need refills on anything though, it was so much food.
It is huge.
For one credit, it's really good value actually. I think even if you were paying out of pocket for it, it would be really good value, especially because it's a character meal, so it means that you can tick those characters off your list, you can get the photos and things with them, and then go about your day. Yeah, I really enjoyed Garden Grill. I think for drinks as well, I had an iced tea, but you can have an alcoholic drink now with the dining plan. Yeah. But I didn't. And you also get juice, and you can have water or any soft drink, and they would just give you more of that as well. It's really, really good. In terms of the restaurant rotating, I mean, you don't notice it, do you?
No.
Apart from that, you can see different things.
The only thing I would say is when you initially step onto it, but it's a very slow sort of rotation.
Yeah. But we really recommend.
It is cool though, because you'll be eating and looking down at your plate, and then you'll look back up and be like, oh, I'm at this part of the attraction.
Yeah, somewhere different, yeah. And the characters came around a couple of times, I think, didn't they? The first time, we got up and got an autograph and a photo. But the next time, I mean, you don't have to stand up and get another photo. You don't need to feel obliged to do that. You can just wave at the characters and they'll just leave you to eat. It's really, really good. And the server was really nice, and I thought it was a good one. I think we'd go back to this one again because we got an early reservation, so we got into Epcot before the park opened, so it meant that when we finished breakfast we could get straight into the soaring queue without pretty much any wait at all. Yeah,
it's a great way to see the park as well without anyone in it.
Yeah, we just walked past the entrance where they do the bag check, and we just went straight through. They had a sign for people with reservations, and we just walked straight on.
Yep.
Right. So that was that one.
Should we move on?
Yeah, I'll start. Right, so I've got Yachtsman Steakhouse. Ooh. So this was actually our last meal of the holiday, which was bittersweet, but it was absolutely amazing. It was probably my favourite meal of the whole trip.
It's definitely mine.
Yeah. This one's at the Yacht Club Resort, which is near the boardwalk. And it's a steakhouse, and it's a signature restaurant, so it's 2 credits, which means that it's more expensive if you are paying out of pocket, but totally worth it in our opinion.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So the food, what did we get for food?
Well, should we start from the start?
Yeah.
So, start you get bread service, as you do with most of the restaurants.
Which is really good, yeah. Which is really good because you don't have to order a starter. The starters aren't included on the dining plan, but honestly, you don't need them because they bring you bread everywhere. Yeah,
and the bread we got, I believe there was a pretzel roll, there was some sourdough there.
Garlic onion rolls or something?
Like a garlic and onion roll, and then on top of that you get a whole bulb of garlic roasted. It was just delicious.
It's so soft. It's been roasted so slowly that it's like butter.
Yeah, you just spread it on, add some sea salt, and away you go. It's
the best garlic bread you'll ever eat. It's so good. I mean, for me, I'm not even a person that would eat like slow roasted garlic if we roasted it ourselves, but there it's so sweet, you wouldn't even you don't smell of garlic. It's so delicious, it's so good. And then for main courses I had the fillet, which came with mashed potatoes and was it like a butter sauce?
Yeah.
Or a mushroom sauce maybe?
It's a mushroom sauce.
And that was really nice. I really enjoyed that. The steak was cooked amazing, as you would expect really from there. Yeah, it was delicious. What did you have?
I had the ribeye, but I swapped out my sauce for the red wine. One thing I thought was really good is when we got served, our server basically said that the menu was just examples. If we wanted to swap anything around, any sauces, etc., we could do. So I swapped my sauce based on that, pretty much.
Yeah, I think the red wine sauce was meant to come with the ribeye, but you got it with...
Got it with the ribeye.
Ah, okay. Well, it was meant to come with a different steak and you got it with something else.
Yeah, and I got mine with truffle fries, which were amazing.
Yeah, and then we also got a side, which we paid extra for, of the truffle mac and cheese, which was huge, and really, in hindsight, we didn't even need that, but I wanted to try it, and I'm glad that I did.
It was good.
Yeah, it was really good. And then for desserts, I was so full that I just wanted the lightest dessert possible, so I got the sorbet, but actually the sorbet was really nice. It was 3 different types. There was a pineapple, a lemon and a coconut, I think, and you got like a scoop of each, and it was really nice, actually. I'm glad that I ordered that. Do you remember what you had?
No, mine's the mystery dessert, because I can't remember, but
No, I don't know.
I will try and find out on our Disney plan somewhere.
I think it might have been a cheesecake or something.
Whatever it was delicious.
Yeah, and I also got a really nice red wine. They've got a huge wine list at the Cellier, and the waiter recommended quite a few, and I went with, I think I got a Merlot. I think so. But they had like loads and loads and loads of choice, and they were really, really like knowledged and could tell you what went with what dishes. And I think you got a beer.
Yeah, assuming I did.
Yeah.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, but yeah, really, really enjoyed Yachtsman and would definitely go back. It was one that we would 100% revisit. Right, you pick one.
I shall pick. Oh, Chef Art Smith's Homecoming. So this is based in Disney Springs, and what can I say? This is one of my favourites of the trip.
Again, it's one that we'd go back to.
Yeah, basically, it's based on the menu by Chef Art Smith, who's a famous TV chef in America.
That I didn't know though.
No, we didn't have a clue, but his food's good.
Famous there.
Yeah. The food itself, I think the most famous thing would be the fried chicken.
It's Florida style food, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's meant to be like Florida, locally produced, locally sourced food. It's really good. We both had fried chicken. Yeah,
I had the classic fried chicken, which came with mash and biscuits with gravy.
Yeah.
And what did you have?
Well, when I ordered the fried chicken, the server actually asked if you wanted a mixture of meats, or if you wanted white meat, or if you wanted dark meat, or if you wanted on the bone. So if you're really fussy with not wanting chicken on the bone, you can still really enjoy the fried chicken there. I actually really like thigh meat chicken, so I asked for all thigh, and you asked for a mixture.
Yeah, I just went for the classic mix.
And I got the mac and cheese instead of the mash, which was incredible. And he also, the server asked if I wanted bacon pieces on the top of the mac and cheese, which I did. Don't know if I'd get that again, because the bacon was really, really salty, but the mac and cheese itself was amazing. And again, it came with biscuits, which are kind of a bit like scones, aren't they?
Yeah.
But buttery. And I didn't get any gravy. Yeah. But that was amazing. So good. And we both had a really nice Florida beer as well, didn't we, to drink?
Yeah. Did we have the funky butter?
Yeah, we had funky butter.
So it's a Hefeweizen wheat beer. It's really good. We've had it a few times in the parks.
Yeah. And they had it there on, was it on draft?
I think so.
It was really good. And then for dessert, I had it was like a chocolate fudge cake that was made in-house, and that was really, really nice. And in the end, I asked for it to go because it was just so big. And I got that with ice cream. What did you get?
I had a pecan tart, which was the best dessert I had in the whole holiday.
Was it?
It was amazing. I was stuffed from the main course. In fact, I couldn't finish it. I didn't even think I could even eat a spoonful of the dessert, but as soon as I tasted it, I just scoffed it all.
The whole thing?
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, it was really good. And the guy who served us was so lovely as well. Like, it was really nice. It was just a really nice restaurant, and although there's so many new places that we want to try when we go back, that's the one that we always recommend to people.
Yeah, we recommend it, and we will be going back.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't like fried chicken, they have like loads of seafood. They had burgers, sandwiches, like really nice vegetarian options. It was just so good. Really recommend that one. Right, my turn. So I've got California Grill.
Ooh.
So that is in the Contemporary Resort, which is just next to the Magic Kingdom, and it's on the top floor, so it gives you a really good view of the Magic Kingdom and all that kind of like surrounding Bay Lake area. And it's a signature restaurant, so it's 2 credits, which means that it's a bit like the Yachtsman, that it's a little bit more expensive, and probably one of the most high-end restaurants at Walt Disney World, but really lovely. So we ate there on our first full night, didn't we, after a Magic Kingdom day. And it was lovely. It was steak and seafood is the main thing that it's known for.
Yeah.
What did you get?
I got steak, unsurprisingly. I will go as far to say, as whilst it was lovely, it was probably my least favourite signature that we had. I don't know if that's just because I ordered my steak rare, and to be honest, it came all blue.
Came too rare.
That, and it was quite loud. I mean, it is cool. You go through a lift, which is like sort of escorted by the staff upwards, so you feel kind of exclusive.
Yeah. It's beautiful inside.
Yeah.
It's all glass windows and like floor to ceiling, and you get a fantastic view. We weren't sat by a window, which may be why we didn't love it as much as other ones, because we didn't have the theme park view from our exact seat. And it was really loud, I think because it's just one big open room. Yeah,
but I'd still recommend it. I mean, it was still great.
Go on.
Oh, I'll go. I had the filet mignon with a mushroom risotto and a roasted butternut squash.
Oh yeah, that was nice actually.
What did you have?
I had the ribeye with the mac and cheese, the Gouda mac and cheese, which I don't think is actually on the menu anymore. I would never normally order a ribeye. I would usually get a filet, but because it was our first time at a Disney restaurant as well that night, I didn't know whether or not you could swap things out, which maybe in hindsight I would have asked if I could have the filet with the Gouda mac and cheese, because that's the thing that I really wanted. And the mac and cheese was amazing. I mean, you'll see a running theme here. I love mac and cheese, and that was a really, really good one. It was huge. I mean, it was far too much food for me, but it was lovely. And we didn't mention as well that, again, they brought you bread at the beginning, which had like a olive oil and sun-dried tomato dipping sauce.
That was really good as well, actually.
Really nice. So you don't need a starter at all. And we both ordered cocktails, didn't we?
We did.
Which were included in the dining plan. I had did I have a mojito? I think I had a mojito.
You did. I don't know what I had, but it had rum in it. I know that much.
Yeah. Didn't you have a Long Island iced tea or something?
Yes, I did. I had a Long Island iced tea. So when I say I had rum in it, I had everything in it.
Everything in it.
But they were really nice.
Yeah.
Our server, again, was really good.
Yeah, she was lovely. And she was really helpful. Everything. I mean, we were so surprised. What we should say is we were so surprised with the dining plan. We thought there'd be so many limitations.
Yeah.
You can have these 5 things off the menu, or you can have this section of the menu, but you could have anything off the menu. And in terms of drinks, that was the only place that she said to us, you can have any of these wines, any of these beers, and then anything from this side of the cocktail list. But that was the only place that we found there was limits. But I mean, you weren't limited at all.
Unless you wanted a whole bottle of wine, then.
Yeah, which is understandable. And for dessert, I had... What did I have? Was it some sort of... I think it might have been some sort of like tart, fruit tart or something. What did you have?
I'm being the worst at this because I honestly have no clue what I had for that night. I was so tired after a full day in the parks that I do not know what I had that night.
I was so jet lagged that night, it was ridiculous. We came out of California Grill, bellies full after quite a strong cocktail, and we're just like, oh my god, ready for bed. So tired. But yeah, we really like California Grill. I don't think we go back to it next time, purely because there's other ones that we want to try. But we wouldn't write it off as going ever again in future. But there's other things that we'd do in place.
I would definitely like to revisit at some point and get a window side view.
Yeah. I think in hindsight, we should have just waited for a table at for a theme park view. Because also we didn't stay for the fireworks. We were just so tired that we didn't wait and watch the fireworks from up there, which I think would have made it more special.
Definitely. Okay, so for the next one I'm picking out is Ohana. So this is actually a restaurant based at the Poly.
The Polynesian.
Yeah, just on Bay Lake. Like California Grill, it's got windows all the way around, giving you a mint view of Magic Kingdom itself. When we went, it was actually Mickey's Not So Scary, so we got to see Hello Wishes. They actually piped the music in, which is mint.
It was lovely. And from our seat, I mean, we weren't sat right at the window, but we still had a really good view of Hello Wishes. And we weren't going to the Halloween party this holiday, so it was nice to be able to see them. Yeah,
we kind of got the best of both worlds. We got to see that, and then we got to see Happily Ever After actually in the parks as well. But yeah, on to the food. So do you want to start?
Yeah, so initially they bring you a coconut bread. Is it coconut and pineapple?
I think it is.
With like a salted butter. And that was really nice. I didn't have much of it. You had the most of it.
I ate a lot.
Yeah. And then after they brought you the bread, they bring you a big salad, which was actually a really nice salad. And it had like a nice vinaigrette on it. And then they bring you a skillet, which has got noodles, vegetables, kind of like Chinesey Oriental style food. And then it's got pot stickers, which are like vegetable dumplings that are sticky, like fried dumplings.
There was pork dumplings too, wasn't there?
Or was it pork dumplings? Yeah, sorry. Vegetable spring rolls.
Yes.
And then I I think that was everything that was in the skillet. And then they also come round whilst you're eating that with big, like, what would you call them?
Well, basically, they bring around a selection of meats on skewers from
yeah.
the oven.
Yeah, which are like freshly grilled and like fire flame.
I think we started with chicken.
Yeah, chicken was really good.
Really nice, really sort of tender, moist.
Yeah, and they'll just put as much of it on your plate as they want, and then if you want more, then they just bring you more. If you want any more of what's in the bowl, like the noodles and things, they'll bring you more of that as well.
Yeah.
So we had chicken, we had Szechuan beef, which was delicious. Szechuan steak.
You had some prawns.
I had prawns, which are like had a spicy glaze on them. You didn't have them.
No.
Yeah, that was amazing. The food was all really good in Ohana. Like, it was really different to what we'd had already in the holiday. It was just different from having steak and chips.
Sorry to interrupt. No, I think because we've been eating a lot of sort of steak and chips and burgers, it was kind of nice just to have some veg, some noodles.
Mm-hmm. I mean, don't get us wrong, the steaks that we had weren't like standard steak and chips, but it was really nice to have a bit of spice. So the main course was all really lovely. We also had really good cocktails in there that were included as part of our dining plan, which were the Captain's Mai Tai cocktails, which I think are probably quite standard. You can get them in a lot of the restaurants, but it actually turned out to be probably my favourite cocktail we had.
It was great. I think it's the most popular one in sort of the resort that the servitor does.
It's rum, pineapple. I think it had like some sort of like syrup in it. It was just really delicious cocktail, like really fruity. Came in like a hurricane style glass. Delicious. And then after you had the main course, they brought you out the famous bread and butter banana pudding. If you've never seen it before, it's basically like a bread and butter pudding that's covered in kind of like a sticky caramel and banana syrup. And then they also bring over a jug of like toffee sauce, and as they pour it on, everything kind of just like melts, and oh my god. I mean, I'm not even a bread and butter pudding fan, but this was like life-changing. Oh my god.
On that, our server told a little lie, didn't he? Because he said he was just going to get us a small portion.
Yeah, we were both so full that we're like, oh, can we just have a small portion? And he brought over basically like half a loaf.
It was a brick.
Yeah.
A brick of pudding, and it was great.
It was so good. I think in future I would eat less of the main course just so I could enjoy the pudding more.
I'd eat less of the bread.
Yeah, and it also came with ice cream. So like kind of that hot, sticky, fudgy caramel pudding and then like really cold vanilla ice cream. Oh my god, it was
really good.
So good. So yeah, would recommend Ohana and the Polynesian in general. Even if you go for drinks or if you go and see the quick service restaurant there, I mean the Polynesian's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
I would love to stay there. Right, should we move on?
Yeah, my turn. So I've picked Be Our Guest, which is the infamous Beauty and the Beast restaurant at the Magic Kingdom. So as we were approaching our trip, the Be Our Guest menu changed, and it changed to that a la carte dinner menu, which is where it's kind of like a set price, and you get 3 courses, and you have like a small selection of what you can have for starter, main, and dessert. And actually, we were happy to spend 2 credits on this because we had the credits spare anyway, and we knew that we wanted to go to Be Our Guest, and so it was worth the 2 credits for us. We wanted to go regardless. So, I mean, where do you even start with Be Our Guest? I mean, the building itself. Yeah,
I'd say the surroundings are probably the main attraction more than the food.
Yeah.
Sorry. So it's set inside Beast's Castle, which is beautiful. You've got the ballroom, you've got the West Wing, and then you've got sort of like a little gallery.
It's meant to be like Belle's gallery where she's got paintings of her and the beasts timed together on. I mean, we sat in the ballroom, which is where I wanted to sit really. But it's just amazing. You literally feel like you've walked into the film. You can also meet Beast at any point during your dinner. A lot of people kind of have their dinner and then they go meet him, but we just ordered our food and then we went straight to meet the Beast and got our picture taken. For the starters, I mean, the selection of the food's quite different. It's French food, so there's a lot of like seafood.
Escargot.
Yeah, like
snails.
Yeah, like quite exotic things, which some people might not like. But actually, there was stuff that everyone could eat. At least something that was on the menu. So for starters, we both had the meat and cheese platter board, like cheese board, which did have like some cheeses on that I wasn't gonna eat. Like I don't eat blue cheese, so I left that part. But there was some nice salami. There was like a nice parma ham, really nice like little crackers and bread. Yeah. So that was nice. That was probably the best starter out of the bunch that we could have chosen, wasn't it? There was other things like soup and escargot, but I mean we weren't going to order that. And then the main course, I had the pork, which was actually a little bit different for me as well. They did have a steak option, but I didn't order it this time. And that came with like a mashed potato and some vegetables and a really nice sauce, and that was really nice. I really enjoyed that. What did you have?
I had steak, as expected. It was actually surprisingly good. I was worried about Be Our Guest, I'll be honest. I was worried that the food wasn't really going to be that great, but I really enjoyed my meal.
What did it come with, the steak?
I think it had like a red wine sauce or something.
With vegetables? Yeah,
with just like just roast veg, like broccoli and stuff, tender stem. But it was really nice. I enjoyed mine.
Yeah, I really enjoyed mine. I mean, we were going to go to Be Our Guest regardless anyway. Yeah. So, I mean, I was happy with the food. I really enjoyed it. For starters, I had... for starters. For dessert, it's like a standard dessert that they bring everyone.
The trio.
Yeah. That was probably the weakest part of the meal for me, actually. Controversial. I don't like the grey stuff. And the whole appeal of the dessert is that they bring you like a white chocolate chip cup, which I mean is stunning to look at.
Yeah, it's cute.
But it's filled with the grey stuff, which is like a cookies and cream mousse. But I don't like cream, and so for me, I find the grey stuff just too sweet, and it just tastes like cream. So I didn't eat any of the grey stuff. I just kind of scooped it out of Chip and ate him.
And I got it.
Yeah.
And then I got extra for my birthday, so that was great.
Yeah, you got extra grey stuff even though you didn't want it. And then also you had like a macaron, and that had like a strawberry sauce. Yeah. And then I think there was something sort of chocolate cake or something. I can't
remember the third.
You can have a look at the dessert trio. It's just a standard. Everybody gets it. It was okay. It wasn't my favourite.
No.
Would you go back to Be Our Guest?
I would. Purely because one, you can get a beer in Magic Kingdom. That's great.
Yeah.
Two, it's just great. It's amazing to look around.
Yeah.
Like.
Would you go back for dinner though, or would you go back for breakfast?
I might try breakfast next time. But one. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. One thing I would say is that when we got there, the server actually said, if you want to look around, just get up. Because initially I think we were quite worried about where we would be placed, because we wanted
to see all the rooms.
We wanted to see all the rooms, and we were worried we might get stuck into the gallery or somewhere, which is nice.
But it's not the room you want to be in,
no,
is it?
But we wanted to be in somewhere from the film. So when they said that, it was like, great, let's just order our food and get up and walk around.
Yeah, and we did that. We ordered our food, ordered our drinks, and then went for a walk around. And by the time we got back to the table, our drinks were there and the starters were pretty much coming.
Yeah,
so we'd recommend doing that actually. Make sure you get up and walk around, because you want to be able to go and see the West Wing and see the paint in the rose. It was really nice. I would go back to Be Our Guest, but I think because we've now done dinner, I think I would maybe try breakfast or lunch. Probably breakfast. Yeah,
but then Crystal Palace, which we'll get on to hopefully.
Yeah.
So, it's your turn?
No, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. Tusker House. Boo! So this is a character breakfast in Animal Kingdom located in Harambe Market. It sounded very posh.
Is it Harambe Market or is it in the Africa?
Well, Harambe is Africa, isn't it?
Okay.
Anyway, it's character dining. It's a buffet style, not family style, so that means basically you have to get out your seat. Boo. But the characters we had were Mickey, Daisy, Donald,
and
Goofy. Yeah, all in their safari gear. The food wise, it is your standard sort of buffet fare, but then there's a few sort of African inspired dishes as well.
Yes, I mean you can get if you're a fussy eater, there's still going to be bacon, sausage, eggs, waffles, pancakes, which is all things that we like anyway. But they do have other things like you had.
I had the chicken curry, which was great. I ate a lot of that.
It was really nice. And then also they have fruit pastries. They have what do they call it? Baboti, which is meant to be like an African dish. We didn't try that, but I know that a lot of people like baboti. And it's got beef and eggs and things in it. And then drinks wise, we both had mimosas, which were included in the dining plan. And then we also got the pug juices there as well, and that's refillable. They'll just bring you more and more of that. And it's a really nice one. We got an early reservation, so we got into Animal Kingdom and kind of bypassed the crowd, so it meant that when we came out of Tusker House, we could go straight on to the safari with pretty minimal wait. And it was a really good way of kind of beating the crowds in that sense. So we'd recommend Tusker House. Wasn't our favourite breakfast, but it was worth going.
I pushed if someone suggested it. I would definitely eat there again.
The food was great.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with the food. It's just that I think there was breakfast that we preferred, which we'll talk about in a minute.
So let's move on.
Right, so the second last one. Right, okay, so speaking of the breakfast that we preferred, my one is Crystal Palace.
Yep.
So this one's at the Magic Kingdom, and it's just when you come off Main Street on the left-hand side, and you have a great view of the castle. And it's just so quintessentially magical, isn't it, Crystal Palace? We loved it.
It was perfect. Perfect start to our first day.
Yeah, it was the first morning, so we were up early, we had an early breakfast reservation, we went into Magic Kingdom when it was pretty quiet, got a photo on Main Street, and then went and had breakfast. And it was just, we knew that we had that like first day buzz, so that's possibly what clouded our view, but we loved it.
I just felt like compared to the other breakfast, I mean everything was good. But I felt
we didn't have any bad food.
I felt the food tasted just better. Like the sausages tasted better, the waffles were better. The Pooh's puffed French toast. Oh my god.
Yeah, so we should say before you talk about the food that it's a character breakfast and it's Winnie the Pooh and friends. So it's Pooh Bear, Eeyore, Piglet, and Tigger. And it's a one where you help yourself to the buffet and then the characters come round and you can get your photos taken. But yeah, they do Pooh's Puff French Toast, which is like fried donut bread.
Yeah, like cinnamony fried donut bread. Couple that with some waffles and some syrup, and it's just a great way to start the day. Yeah,
it was really good. And I mean, we didn't realise that in terms of drinks and things, like how much selection there would be. So the server offered us any sort of beverage we wanted, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, and because we kind of panicked and thought, well, what alcoholic drink do I want? In hindsight, I would probably have ordered a cocktail or a mimosa. Tom got a pint.
I got a beer. I got Blue Moon.
At 8:30 in the morning.
That was great. Hey, set me up in a magical way.
Yeah. But it was really nice, and the server was really nice there. He was really like accommodating. He just kept on bringing more refills, asking if there's anything that we wanted. And it was your birthday, and so they brought you a birthday card.
Yeah, I got a card signed by all the characters. So that was nice. Yeah,
that was really lovely. And the characters were great. Eeyore was adorable.
Tell you what, Eeyore's got some moves.
Yeah, Eeyore was great.
He was practically twerking when we were there.
Yeah. And yeah, so we would definitely go back to Crystal Palace. We would really recommend that, especially for a way of getting into the Magic Kingdom early when it's quiet. I think our reservation was at like 8:30ish, and the park opened at 9, so it meant that we got in and got those pictures on Main Street before it got busy.
I would say it's definitely the best way to get some good pictures before the crowds hit, because you'll never see the castle like that through the day.
No, I mean, we were right up to the castle and it was really quiet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. So yeah, we'd definitely recommend that one. And then the last one, do you want to do that one?
Yeah, I'll do the last one. It is Le Cellier.
Okay.
So that is based in Epcot, the Canada Pavilion. It's a signature restaurant.
So it's 2 credits.
2 credits. It's a steakhouse. I would say this would probably, apart from Yachtsman, this would be my next favourite.
Yeah.
So
I think that's fair.
Le Cellier basically means the cellar. It's one thing is you won't get any natural light, but it is nice inside.
Yeah, it's underground, but it's really like the thing is, before you go to a signature restaurant, it's hard to kind of imagine what they're going to be like, because everybody's in their theme park clothes. It's really hot and sweaty outside, so everybody's kind of like cooling down. But it was really casual, considering it's a signature restaurant. It was really casual. I mean, not so much that there was kind of like, you know, really loud and like kids screaming and everything, because that's not what we want. But it was just really nice, really casual. The server was really nice.
Yeah.
You get seated in like Canadian provinces. So the server gives you like a little bit of background about which province you're sat in, and gives you a little bit of Canadian history. And they were just really helpful with like what you should order, what they would recommend.
Yeah, they were very attentive.
Yeah, the drinks were good. You had a Magic Star cocktail.
Yeah, I had the one with the glow cube, which was a great novelty. The person next to us was very jealous.
I don't remember what I had, but I had a cocktail and I remember it being nice. And then we both had steaks for main. They brought you bread out again at the beginning, which was lovely. And we both enjoyed our steaks.
Yeah.
We both had the fillet.
Yeah, we both had mignon.
Yeah.
The bread itself was pretzel bread, which was great.
Which had like a salted butter. And then we also got a side of poutine, which we had. It was meant to be like a side portion, but we got it as an appetizer, so to come before the steaks. And actually, that was the highlight of the meal. I think if I went back again and I wasn't on the dining plan, I would just order a poutine as a main course.
Yeah.
But it wasn't included in the diner plan.
It was unreal. I mean, for what is basically posh cheesy chips
But it
and
was
gravy,
so good.
it was fantastic. It was like a beef bourguignon sauce.
With bits of beef.
Yeah, with beef, red wine. It was just...
Yeah, cheese curds, like loads of sea salt. It was quite a big portion. It was enough to share. But I think in hindsight, I would have probably just ordered that. The steak was lovely, but the steak wasn't the highlight.
No.
Yeah. And then the dessert, they had like all different options. They had like a maple tart, a maple pecan tart. They had creme brulee. They had ice cream. It was called like the Yukon bar or the Yukon bar, which was meant to be like a Canadian delicacy or something. And that was kind of like a mousse with like a bit of kind of chocolate and biscuit on, and that was really nice. Do you remember what you had or not?
I had the maple pecan tart, which was really good. Wasn't homecoming good, but it was still really good.
Yeah.
I think. Whew.
Yeah. I think the problem is that we ate at Le Cellier, and so then we didn't get a chance to go around food and wine as much as what we wanted, because it was just too much food. I mean, that's one thing that we should say about the dining plan, is that you never go hungry. Like, it's so much food. But we really, really enjoyed it. And we would go back. I don't know if we'd go back on the next trip, but we'd go
Maybe
back.
the next.
Next
the
after
next after the next.
Yeah.
After the next.
There's just too many places to eat, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's all of the restaurant's table service that we ate at. We are going to do another video where we talk about the quick service places that we ate and what we thought of those. So let us know what table services you recommend, if you've ate at any of the ones that we did, and what you thought, what you ordered, if you think any differently. Yeah, let us know. Let's have a chat in the comments and see what everybody thinks.
And also follow us on Instagram, because that's where we're most active.
Yeah.
It's 2 Please Vlogs.
We'll leave the link in the description.
Yeah, likewise, come and have a chat.
Yeah.
See you there.
Yeah. So we'll see you next time.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye.